You sit beside me, staring at the ground. Your shoulders tight. Your breath thin. Your mind loud with numbers, debts, expectations, and silent fears. You don't notice the river beside us. You don't hear its movement. You don't see how it flows without hurry, without guilt, without the self-punishment you carry in your chest. I watch you struggle with money the same way others struggle with water, fearful of drowning, fearful of losing control, fearful of being carried somewhere unknown. You tell me money slips away from you. That you work hard but never feel safe. That abundance feels like a story told to other people, never to you. And I listen. Quietly. Because I have heard this before. Many times. Different faces, same storm. You think money is solid, a thing to grip, a thing to hold, a thing to keep from escaping. But money is not solid. Money is water. A river. A current. And you have been swimming against it your entire life. You breathe in a way that trembles. As if just mentioning money tightens something inside your ribs. You treat every financial decision like a test you already believe you will fail. But let me tell you a truth I learned watching rivers for many years: water never resists you. But it will mirror the way you resist yourself. I have watched people chase money the way frightened swimmers fight a strong current, arms flailing, lungs burning, hearts pounding in terror as they try to control what was never meant to be controlled. You do the same. You tighten. You chase. You panic. You try to force the river to move according to your fear. But the river does not bend to fear. The river bends to openness. Look at the water. Really look. Do you see how it moves? Not with desperation. Not with self-judgment. Not with the shame you carry in your breath. Water moves with presence. With awareness. With trust in its own nature. But you stopped trusting your nature long ago. You grew up in a world that taught you money is danger. Money is identity. Money is morality. Money is self-worth. So now, every time you touch it, even in thought, your body contracts. You don't see the contraction, but I do. The river does too. Because the flow of money follows the same laws as the flow of water, it resists the ones who resist themselves. You tell me people with abundance seem lucky, blessed, chosen. But what if they are simply swimming with the current, while you exhaust yourself fighting it? What if abundance isn't something you win? What if it's something you stop interrupting? You ask me why life feels like a constant struggle. Why no matter how hard you try, you remain in the same place, tired, breathless, with your head barely above water. And I tell you gently, because you are not moving with life. You are moving against your own current. Money is not the monster you fear. Money is the water revealing where you still hold on too tightly. Where you still believe you must suffer to deserve rest. Where you still think pain is proof of your worth. But suffering is not a currency. And pain does not purchase stability. Look again at the river. Watch the water slip around stones instead of fighting them. Watch how it adapts without losing itself. What if you allowed yourself to move like that? What if you allowed your relationship with money to soften, to expand, to breathe, to flow? You think discipline is what you lack. You think knowledge is what you are missing. You think effort is the path. But the truth is quieter. And heavier. What you lack is self-permission. Self-trust. A softness toward yourself you fear will make you weak. But softness is not weakness. Softness is water. And water shapes mountains. You confessed to me once that every time you start to receive, you feel guilty. That when life gives you a little more, you sabotage yourself without noticing. You pretend this is coincidence. It is not. You were taught that wanting more makes you selfish. You were taught that stability is for other people. You were taught that survival is noble and abundance is suspicious. So you carry water in your hands and blame the river when it slips through your fingers. It is not the river. It is the way you hold it. Look at your reflection on the water's surface. It trembles. Not because the river is unstable, but because you are. I say this not with judgment, but with compassion so deep it aches in my chest as I speak. You have never felt safe in the world. You have never felt supported. You have never felt like you could rest without everything collapsing. And so you treat money as if it carries the power to destroy you. But listen to me carefully, the river is not here to drown you. The river is here to carry you. If you let it. You breathe again, slightly deeper this time. The river responds, as if acknowledging the slightest opening. You ask me how to fix your life. How to fix your finances. How to fix your fear. And I tell you softly, you do not fix water. You learn to move with it. You do not force abundance. You stop interrupting it. Let the river inside you flow again. The part of you that once trusted life. The part of you that didn't hesitate to receive. The part of you that believed ease was natural. You lost that part. But it is not gone. It is merely submerged. Part 2 begins here. In the moment you begin to rise to the surface. You ask me what it means to swim with the current. The question trembles in your voice. It carries years of fear, exhaustion, and quiet shame. I do not answer immediately. I let the river speak first. Its sound is steady. Unconcerned. A reminder that life does not rush just because you are drowning inside your thoughts. When I finally speak, my voice is low, the way water becomes calm when the storm is over. To swim with the current, I tell you, is to stop believing you must suffer to deserve what you need. Your eyes lower. Your hands tighten. You do not want this truth, but you need it. You have built your entire identity around struggle. Around hardship. Around the idea that being tired makes you worthy and being overwhelmed makes you good. You treat money the same way. You think it must hurt to earn it. You think you must run to keep it. You think ease is a sign of danger, not alignment. You've mistaken exhaustion for virtue. And the river has been trying to show you otherwise your entire life. You tell me you fear losing control. But control is the very thing drowning you. Control is the stone you cling to while the river begs you to let go. You cannot float while holding the bottom, I say. You look at me wide-eyed, because the word strikes somewhere you haven't opened in years. You cling to scarcity because it is familiar. You cling to worry because it feels responsible. You cling to fear because you learned early that fear keeps you alive. But abundance requires trust, and trust terrifies you. I see it in your breath. In your posture. In your heartbeat. You do not fear poverty. You fear receiving. You fear letting life support you. You fear what it means to no longer measure your worth through suffering. Let me tell you the truth no one told you, abundance is not loud. Abundance is not dramatic. Abundance is not a reward. Abundance is the natural state of a heart that stopped fighting itself. Money is just the river's reflection of your inner flow. When you stop resisting yourself, the river moves with you. You ask how to do that. How to surrender. How to trust. How to let the current carry you instead of choking you. And I smile. Not because it is easy, but because I have seen many like you find their way back. The first step is always the same: stop swimming in the direction of your fear. Right now, you move from panic, from scarcity, from guilt, from inherited stories that were never yours to keep. This is why you drown in your thoughts before you ever drown in circumstances. Money responds to emotional flow, not intellectual effort. You think abundance is a skill. But it is a state. A softness. A quiet internal openness. Look at the river. See how it moves around obstacles instead of attacking them. See how it finds a way forward even when the path is narrow. See how it trusts its own movement even in the dark. You possess the same nature. You simply forgot. You ask how to let go. How to release the grip of fear. How to loosen the knot tightening your chest every time you check your bank account. And I place your hand in the river. Cold. Moving. Alive. Feel this, I say. This is what receiving feels like when you stop interrupting it. Your breath changes. A small shift. But real. You tell me the water scares you. I nod. Fear is natural when you have lived your entire life believing the river wants to drag you under. But the river does not want to drown you. The river wants to carry you. And money is just another current. When you soften, it softens with you. When you open, it moves toward you. When you trust, it begins to stay. Scarcity is the experience of someone swimming against themselves. Abundance is the experience of someone finally moving with their own life. You ask me if it is too late. If you have damaged your path beyond repair. If the river will ever carry you the way it carries others. And I answer gently, the river does not hold grudges. It only waits. You sit in silence. Your shoulders loosening. Your breath deepening. Your eyes searching the water as if seeing your own soul reflected in its trembling surface. You whisper, I want to stop fighting. The river hears you. I do too. And something shifts, not dramatic, not loud, but true. You begin to understand that abundance is not outside you. It is inside, blocked by guilt, fear, and the belief that struggling makes you good. You begin to understand that you have been clinging to the stone far longer than necessary. You begin to understand that your life can change the moment you stop swimming in the direction of your pain. You begin to understand that money is not the enemy, self-abandonment is. You begin to understand that the river is not trying to take anything from you, it is trying to give. You place your hand on your chest. You breathe deeper. Warmer. Softer. And for the first time, you float. A small surrender. A quiet acceptance. A whisper of trust. The beginning of flow. You look at me with eyes that no longer hide. With a heart that no longer clenches. With a presence that finally allows itself to be here. You whisper, I'm ready. I nod. Because the river heard you. And once the river hears, it carries. You rise. Not as someone who conquered their fear, but as someone who is no longer ruled by it. You walk beside the water, moving with it, not against it. And the current moves with you. Prosperity begins there, not in force, not in effort, but in flow. You are not drowning anymore. You are becoming the river. And the river takes care of its own. If something in these words stayed with you, if a quiet truth inside you finally rose to the surface, hold that feeling. Let it breathe. Let it guide your next step. And if this message walked beside you in a way that mattered, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so this river of truth can reach others who are still drowning in silence. Your presence here keeps this space alive. Your support helps these words travel to the hearts that need them most. Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you for listening with a heart that has carried storms and still chooses to open. Thank you for not abandoning yourself, even on the days you felt the current pulling you under. I'm grateful for you. Truly. Quietly. Deeply.